this thing here. So guys, just really want to say thank you to the previous panel, really interesting one. And now we are going, as I said before, to Greece. And we are really looking forward to see Demetris Gerogiannis. And I hope, my friend, that I spoke not your name not too bad. Thank you so much. I'm very happy about that. So Demetris, you're from the Greek AI scene. So can you explain a little bit about your organization and what you're doing?
Mm-hmm. First of all, thank you for hosting us in this AI forum. So I'm representing here AI Catalyst, which is the Federation for Association for Artificial Intelligence in Greece. The association was established about 2 years ago, and as our name says, we believe that artificial intelligence is a catalyst for the economy. So what we do, we are a network of AI enthusiasts from the academia and from the private sector, and we want to raise the awareness in the society regarding artificial intelligence and bring on the table the state, the corporates and the academia, so they all collaborate, and we want to assist this technology transfer so as research in the artificial intelligence field becomes a product, and this can benefit the whole society. As I said, we want to raise the awareness within people about the AI and the developments that are coming. And to that, we are organizing some events, some internal events, lectures for our members, discussing about trends and developments in the AI. We organize some meetups from time to time to engage the community. And the name of our meetup is called AI and Beers. So we try to discuss about good stories in AI world, and then have some socialization and engagement and networking between the community. We also participate in the public debate, and we assist the state in the dialogue regarding the legal framework and the establishment of the national strategy about AI. And our next steps include the collaboration with other associations. We want to open our activities and our network on European level, so as to achieve what was discussed in the previous panel. To eliminate the silos. We want to promote the collaboration within the European Union with AI being on the edge of the innovation and the growth of the economy.
Mm-hmm. And are you discussing, as we have before, discussing the AI Act, which is happening in Brussels at the moment, and how do you discuss it?
We had when the AI Act came in public, we organized some internal discussions with our members. We shared the document with our members, and we tried to collect some feedback. And some of our members participated in a think tank where we presented, amongst others, we present our view of the AI regarding the AI Act. We presented this report to some members of the European Parliament, and the assistance of EIT, we participated. Also, we sent them our report, and part of the report was included in a public report issued by the EIT Digital.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you so much for joining quickly the European AI Forum here from Greece. We really appreciate, and we are always looking for European partners out there. And we are really happy that you're, for the first time, joining us here at the European AI Forum here live from Brussels. I wish you all the best, Demetris, and hopefully perhaps we see us soon in real life.
Thank you for hosting us, and I hope we have the opportunity to collaborate further on issues that are being discussed at this forum.
Looking forward to that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So, and now we're going from Greece to Romania. This is, and I'm so sorry if I pronounce any names wrong. For someone who is called Daniel Abu, it's always also a challenge getting my name out right. But in this case, Viorica, and then it's Patraucean. How do I speak your name out right? I'm so sorry about that.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me. So the name would be Viorica Patraucean.
Well, it was not quite what I said, but
I've heard many versions.
So. But you're from Romania. We are very happy that you're here with us at the European AI Forum. And perhaps you can tell us a little bit about AI Romania and what you're doing in your ecosystem.
Thank you for having me. So just to say, I am based in London. I'm a research scientist in Google DeepMind in London. And as a side project, I'm one of the initiators of the AI Romania community. And this is an online community that has now more than 600 members. And our mission is to strengthen the community in AI Romania through projects related to education, research, and projects for the community. And we want to facilitate collaborations between Romanians and Romanian in the diaspora, but also to raise the visibility of the Romanian community in the European community and the AI international community. And just to give some examples of projects that we've developed. So on the education side, we created a material for an introductory course for high school, and showing the basics of AI and machine learning. And we are now actually developing a program, Teach the Teachers, where we want to train the teachers, like computer science teachers, to be able to teach this material on AI basics. Another project related to research, we developed a benchmark for Romanian language tasks. And we also hold hackathons, and we published, the benchmark was published in a top machine learning conference in Europe 2 years ago. And on the community side, we organize every year the Romanian AI Days. And this is an event, a 2-day event where we bring researchers and practitioners from Romania and from the international ecosystem to really strengthen the community in Romania. And we are always very keen to have speakers and guests from other countries. So we always have, like this year, we had the speakers from Serbia. In the previous edition, we had Poland, Hungary. So we are very, very keen to strengthen the collaborations in the Eastern Europe and also with other European countries.
How would you see the Eastern European AI ecosystem? Because we have a very strong contingent. We have Slovenia, Croatia, Bulgaria with us, also from Poland. And when you go up to the Baltics, Lithuania there. And what I think is very interesting to see from my part is how dynamic the Eastern European AI scene is. More, I would say, even more free thinking than how Donald Rumsfeld once said, old Europe in this case. How do you see the engagement there?
So I see it as an extraordinary pool of talent for AI, and we really need to invest and promote that region in Europe. And I do think we are underestimating the potential that we have there. Like generally, the funding from EU goes mostly in the Western countries, but I do think we need to invest a lot more in Eastern Europe. And especially so that we don't lose the talent, because there's a lot of brain drain, and this was mentioned before. We need to invest in Eastern Europe, in research institutes, in educational programs for research, such that we enable research to happen there. And that way we can strengthen the overall European landscape. And just to mention another event that we are organizing dedicated to Eastern Europe is the Eastern Europe Machine Learning Summer School. And this is an event that we've had now 5 editions. So it was held in Romania, in Poland. This year was Lithuania, and next year will be Slovakia. And we really try to bring there the top machine learning experts who teach for a week and mentor students mainly from Eastern Europe. And there has been so much enthusiasm around this event. Like we have a lot of candidates everywhere in the world wanting to come there. And also all our projects are based on sponsorship. So the companies have shown so much interest to fund such events. So I think we really need to have more such events in Eastern Europe. So that's my thinking.
I would completely agree, and I think, as you said, you did one in Lithuania, and
Yes.
I was in Vilnius some months ago, and they told me with great emphasis about this situation. So the guys from AI Lithuania were very, very pleased with the event and want to do it again. And perhaps we can cooperate on this, because we really think that talent is one of the keys of establishing a European AI ecosystem, and we are really looking forward also cooperating with AI Romania on this one. It was so great that you were here. Thank you so much for participating in our little European family AI endeavor. And we're really looking forward to seeing you in real life, perhaps pretty soon. Have a great day.
Thank you for having me.
Bye. So, guys and girls, we are now going to the final line of our event today. We are now heading from first Greece, then to Romania, now to Bulgaria, and with an input about the very important part of the topic of AI and chips in this case. And we are very honored to have Professor Dimitar Nikolov, Associate Professor from the Technical University of Sofia in Bulgaria. Are you there, Dimitar? Can
Yes.
you see us? Can you hear us? Can you feel us? Yeah, there he is.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for having me. I can hear you. Everything's
That's perfect.
fine.
And the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you. First, thank you for having me and for the invitation. And yeah, I would like just briefly to describe actually what is the connection between the AI and Chips Act. Basically, this is the field. And to describe what are the challenges. Actually, the challenges in front of machine learning, if you see historically how it was that in order to have we grew a little bit more with the bigger data. Each time during the years we had more data. More data actually drove better algorithms, and better algorithms actually needed a more compute power in order to drive those algorithms, and the cycle continues on and on. Better compute power actually gathered again bigger and better data, and then better algorithms, and then more computer power. And actually it was one of the first application of specialized hardware for machine learning actually was AlexNet using GPUs in order to drive this kind of a deep neural network in order to get more performance, and it performed 4 times better on GPUs than on CPUs, and that was 2012. But actually, GPUs are not enough in order to drive the machine learning algorithms forwards, because what we are seeing now in the domain that there are a lot more this kind of domain specific controllers and accelerators that drive better machine learning. What actually is the problem here? The problem here is that the different kind of machine learning algorithms have different requirements, and when it comes to the hardware, it really goes for the scaling issues. When you would like to scale a little bit more, you have a bigger bottleneck in order for the compute power. And the scaling for the machine learning and the hardware for the machine learning, actually, it's really multi-dimensional issues, because you have a different. We could boil down the scaling issues to 3 points, because basically we have the first point is that we have a unique application domains. We have a different and vastly different application domains, ranging from internet, cloud, medical, entertainment, security, defense, autonomous machines, and those applications actually require different have different requirements for the hardware for the machine learning, and they pose really great challenges for scaling ML algorithms and the hardware adoption for the scaling of those algorithms. The second problem is that machine learning, when you see from the last 10-15 years, actually it's really exploded. It's exploded. We have a really active research field, and actually the number of the work that is done it's vastly enormous. From the data from the OpenAI, we see that from the AlexNet 2012 to the AlphaGo 0, we have more than 300,000 times increased demand for the computation and power, and these were the machine learning algorithms developed in the 70 years. Actually, we have a really big increase in the computational demand, and the models that we are training and using really are not equal. The demand for the computational throughput during the training of those models, actually it's vastly different. And the problem is how we handle this kind of a large demands. And the third problem, scaling, actually comes from the semiconductor environment itself. Moore's law actually do not provide sufficient improvements. Either in the computational power, either in the power efficiency. Well, if you see the power efficiency is really flat. And actually, in the scaling issues, basically how you get the hardware for the same hardware to perform for the large scale data center and for the low power edge device. These are really different. And just to point some recent industry developments that we are seeing in the industry, these are in the literature they're called so-called domain-specific accelerators. These are examples like from the Amazon Annapurna Labs, that they provide these kind of domain-specific accelerators for their servers. Another example is, for example, one of the most famous one is the Apple's Bionic chip and N1 chip. You have in the chip you have a CPU, then you have a GPU, and then you have a specialized neural engine that actually performs these really high requirement computational tasks. Another example are Google Tensor Processing Units, Tesla. For example, they have their own Tesla full self-driving computer. We see in that field for the hardware, for the machine learning, really vast number of different startups that actually provide quite a different insight about how the things could be done. For example, you have a Cerebras startup that have a full wafer of that is one chip actually used for machine learning algorithms. We are also going back to the analog computing. There are startups that are doing different kind of computation of deep neural networks on the analog on the memory chips, but using the analog different kind of analog laws. And one of the problem here is that we lack a different kind of a standardized benchmarking for all those different hardware. And now we have actually a really big opportunity. Without the specialized hardware, machine learning in Europe, and I would like to point to the previous speaker from the previous panels, that we see that we are saying that we are lagging behind in US in the machine learning, in different machine learnings, and we are lagging in that area too. If we continue to lag in that area for the hardware, for the specialized machine learning algorithms, actually we will be still lagging in the machine learning area. The modern machine learning area, the machine learning algorithms, actually it's not possible without using these kind of domain-specific accelerators for the machine learning. And what EU Chips Act actually is, and what could bring for the artificial intelligence ecosystems. Europe actually decided to draw a lesson from the ongoing chip shortages from China, USA, and actually they created, could be called that it's industry subsidized. The EU Chips Act actually it's 43 billion subsidies for the semiconductor industry throughout the Europe. And we are seeing actually that European Union are really trying to move from this old view that the industry subsidies are something bad. And actually the EU Chips Act provides support for the R&D in Europe, actually provide the legal basis for the EU member states to use different kind of subsidies to be used for the semiconductor devices to help in times of different crisis. And actually, the final goal is to have a higher number and higher amount of production facilities in Europe. It is basically based on 3 pillars, and the first pillar is so-called Chips for Europe initiative. The second pillar is security of supplying chips, and the third is the monitoring of crisis. Basically, all those pillars that are described in the EU Chips Act are trying to, these measures actually are trying to get on the topics of the skill shortage, subsidies for different fabrications and facilities in order to have a better production, to have a higher amount of chips produced in Europe, to increase the collaboration between the countries, companies, and different organizations. For example, one of the leading research organizations in that field is IMEC in Leuven. Another one is Leti in France. And actually, the EU Chips Act tries to involve these organizations more closer to the industry, and also industry more closer to the R&D. One of the biggest companies in Europe, actually is Infineon. It's a European company, and actually they're trying to have a collaboration with all those companies, ASML too, and this is basically the bread and butter of the EU Chips Act, that it's trying to have a better collaboration between those companies. Also, one really interesting point here is that EU Chips Act actually also tries to address the problem that was raised in the previous panel, that basically we are in a kind of silos. Because, for example, in Bulgaria, we have really strong tradition in the design of integrated and manufacturing of integrated circuits. But in the last 20-25 years, actually, this was a little bit overlooked. At that industry didn't increase in Bulgaria, and EU Chips Act actually it's trying to connect all the different countries in order to have a better crisis management, better security of supply of chips, and to increase really this, to secure the skills that are needed for semiconductor industry. Because one of the problems here is we see that around Dresden there are 3 different major foundries that are opening in next year, but they have more than 30,000 jobs that are needed, and that they are lacking those specialists. And EU Chips Act actually it's really trying to increase that. And one of strong points here that I would like to address, that Europe really has a really strong advanced design hardware capabilities. However, it lacks the manufacturing facilities. And actually, one of the problems here that I'm seeing, here is that a lot of companies throughout Europe are facing the same hardware bottlenecks, but because they are not Google, they are not Facebook, they are not Amazon, they are not Apple, they are not able to provide this kind of a chips. And actually, this one of the key messages is that the AI community should look for further collaboration with R&D institutes, with the semiconductor company, in order to design and to develop those chips for the future machine learning algorithms.
Dimitar, thank you so much for your insight in this in AI and chips in this very important matter. And thank you for taking the time this afternoon with us and to the whole community. And our best, of course, to the AI cluster in Bulgaria, which is one of the most active members in the European AI Forum. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Last but not least, dear friends, we have a program or a project which is really near also to my personal heart. It's called GPT-X. As you all know and all get, chat.gpt.com is quite going medially insane. In this case, and we are seeing very much reports on it. And there's, of course, also a question of, in this big and large AI models, how Europe is faring. And of course, as you probably know, we in Germany have at the KI Bundesverband the project LEAM, Large European AI Models, from our partner and president Jörg Bienert. But we are also very proud to be in a consortium with our friends from Fraunhofer in GPT-X. Yeah, it's not an X-Men movie. It is a project from Fraunhofer, exactly. So, and Dr. Nicolas Flores from Fraunhofer is and the project lead of GPT-X is now here with us. Nicolas, welcome to the European AI Forum.
Thank you so much, Daniel, and thank you to all the attendees, and thank you for listening. I have actually prepared some slides, if I may.
Yes, please. You can provide. The floor is yours, my friend.
Yes. Okay. So I hope this works. And just let me get that. So I'm very good when it comes to changing. So now you must probably see. Now you must see it, right? Can everyone see the Daniel? Can you see it?
Yes. Well, yes, we can see. GPT-X utilizes Gaia X technologies.
Very good. So, GPT-X just is a publicly funded research project. It's funded by the Federal Ministry of Economic Affairs and Climate Action, and it's funded within the program of Gaia X. And now just skipping a few slides, large language models, I think we discussed it, and Daniel has so nicely introduced it. The usage scenarios are really vast and especially interesting. There's not only an economic interest, there's also an interest of languages, especially if we look into Europe, because if one looks a little bit more closely into models just as GPT-3, English is vastly the majority language, and other European languages are a little bit appendices right now, and also to foster more German and European languages. This is one of the main goals. We are building our own large language model, and as previous speakers have put out, we're facing tremendous problems. If I want to sum up the problems, the challenges that we're facing is basically enough data and enough compute power, and to have this in one place, basically, so you can actually train the models. And it's a lot of work. In this project, we're very lucky to work with TU Dresden and Research Center in Jülich, who in total have around about 4,000 A100 GPUs that at least is comparable with what international competitors currently are using. Data is still a problem, so if any one of you has large text corpora of any European language and also German, please get in touch with me. You can find me on LinkedIn. I don't know if you can DM me here. I don't know. So this is what we're challenging. And why is it so important for Gaia X? Gaia X is really for us will provide a framework that across partners that we can really achieve this task, this very, very challenging task of training large models, bringing compute power and data together in a trustworthy way, and being able also to filter data. So yeah, this is really what we're looking into. And also, as it's funded by the Ministry of Economics, we're not stopping at just having a model and then publishing the model as open source, which is what we're going to do, but really showing that we can make services on top of these models, because this is where it really becomes interesting for the public sector and for corporations is to really see, okay, I have an API at the end of the day, and I can use this API, for example, in the field of speech assistance. Document analytics is one, and also very generic NLU, NLP services. So we are not only building our own language models together with the consortium, but also on top services. On top of that, in various Gaia-X domains, namely mobility, finance, and media, we are applying these smart services into use cases. Of course, we're not building products, it's still a research project, but we can really show how to generate business with that. Because you can say, oh, well, let's see, ChatGPT, it's a nice gadget, you talk to a computer, haha. But there's already been very, very promising hints that there's actually a lot of benefit, both for for example, one of our project partners, Aleph Alpha, has built a chatbot for a city of Heidelberg, where basically a large language model technology is being used in the background, and the chatbot provides a lot of very, very good answers when people have questions about the city of Heidelberg. And this is not where you have to pre-manufacture dialogue trees, and you can just go ahead and free speech talk to the information that's available on the City of Heidelberg website, including their documents, which is really some very nice application scenario. The expected outcomes, as I already mentioned, is really this open source AI language models, where we really want to support also all the questions that come up now with regards to research. How do these models actually work, so-called explainable AI? In addition, we want to really reduce the bias. So how can these models be trained with sufficient data that is not toxic in a sense? Of course, it's a philosophical discussion, what is toxic, what is non-toxic. But I think we can all agree that for example, racist comments and all of that is clearly not something that we would like to support as research institutions. And yeah, so right now this is a challenge that everyone is facing. And also when we think about the EU AI Act, there's something about certifying these large language models, including the services. So this is also something where we really cannot use an API from a US or a Chinese firm, where we really need to have the models in our computers. You know, I go to another room, there's a server, and there's the model is running there. No, none of this. And then we can really investigate this and ask the questions that are central to kind of the European spirit and you know, European values with respect, especially to making certifying AI and debiasing and all of that. So anyway, so these are, as I said, these are very tangible outcomes. We are finishing the project end of 2024. Follow us on LinkedIn. And yeah, there we give you frequent updates. We're currently training a 12 billion parameter model, but we're at least trying in the next month to scale up to really likes of Bloom and GPT-3. Daniel, how much time do I have?
Depends how much. Well, we have a little time for you always left. And how much do you need, you think?
I could just
well, I know you can talk like until midnight about one of the most important issues, of course in this, but if you have something more to say, we won't cut you off for 5 minutes or anything.
Yeah, so there's no virtual umbrella going for my throat. That's good to hear.
No, just a knife.
Okay, then I can take that. I always have a steel vest. So in the domain media, we focus on content analysis for the generation of metadata for personalized search. So really, as you have been monitoring some European programs and projects where really the broadcasters, large broadcasters of Germany and Europe have participated. They have built large media archives. You now have so much metadata there that it's kind of overwhelming for the normal user, the normal taxpayer, to really access it in an easy way. You know, you have great media archives, but how to access it? And we think that the solutions we have come up here with might be a key to really accessing those in a new way, new paradigms. I'm not saying it's replaces search, it's just a new way of interacting with the content. Just giving you a brief overview here. Then the other one is a very commercial domain. It's insurance, and really we believe that the document understanding, which is still ongoing challenge and task, is claims automation. How can this be achieved? And there's two ways of making claims faster. First, you help machines to understand documents. And secondly, there's actually a person that has a problem. Here in this case, you see there's a car that has crashed, and you need to call the insurance. And I myself have had small accidents, and it was really painstaking. And there we need digital assistance, so something more in the field of conversational AI. Thirdly, in the domain of mobility, is we all know car experts. At the moment, they are not the most chatty and not the most funny. I think the leading cars of here, BMW, they have 20 jokes that they can repeat. That might not be enough for some, but also it's at the moment it's what it is. I'm not saying it's not fluent, but it can be made more human-like with the use of large language models. This is also the domains that we're looking into. I can say something about how the project is going, and of course it's going great. But when I listen to the previous talk about compute power, this is really something where I want to talk about the project of Leam that has been mentioned throughout the day. We really need more compute power for our experiments, for the evaluation of models, for testing of models, for fine-tuning of models to specific domains. This is really something that we need. We don't have access to it even as a Fraunhofer research, and our friends at the universities and other companies also. They, unless you are an HPC organization, we don't have proper access to that. And this is something that the hyperscalers do have. They put out amazing papers. Look at NeurIPS, how much Amazon papers come out there, for example. And this is something where we also have to think about young talents. I've heard about talent strain earlier. We really want to encourage people, or we enable people and encourage people to put out great publications and make technologies that work. And so I think I really wanted to make a point how important compute power is, not only for mere making AI greater, but also for the people in that sense. So I want to end here now. I can feel the knife or umbrella already. And thank you, everyone.
Nicolas, thank you so much for your insight into OpenGPT-X, one of the main projects that we are doing at the KI Bundesverband. So friends, after now nearly over 5 hours and 30 minutes, we are coming to an end. Thank you all to my participant colleagues from the Netherlands, from France, and from Austria. Marius, perhaps a little question to the end. What was your main insight in today's event?
You didn't prepare me for this question.
Oh, well, yeah.
Well, I liked the examples at the end, actually, especially about the media. It's a hot topic in the Netherlands. How can you, build alternatives for, content generation in media, for example? So I like the examples and the progression we are making.
Main insight for you, Chloe?
I would say that the panel on AI in education, because, well, the youth is the future of the European Union. And I would say that the quote on we need also to support the teachers so that we can have better education, I think it's really key.
Janet, what was your main takeaway from today?
I love the recommendation of Philip Hacker, consult a lawyer. But the main takeaway is, of course, it's complex. So education is key and awareness is key.
My main takeaway is connecting Zoom to Restream to YouTube is always like having a marathon heart. And but we are very happy that all went well. And I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you, of course, to my colleagues here. I want to say thank you to every organization in the European AI Forum, from Digital Poland, Piotr, who did the panel, but also administrated our website in a very efficient way, to Kaloyan from Bulgaria, to our friend from AI for SI in Slovenia, who provided the speakers, to Crow AI with the lovely Martina Silov, who did the moderation of the second panel, and of course the President Mislav, who is always very combative for the AI ecosystem in Europe, to all our associations here in our panel, and we are really looking forward to the 7th, of course, European AI Forum, probably in Stockholm. I'm very optimistic that AI Sweden will at least give us asylum for some days. And on this case, I want to also thank here the Nordic House in Brussels for hosting us. This was a very nice location where we could be in the capital of Europe there. I thank you so much. Have a great day. We really come to our webpage, europeanaiforum.com, with some dashes in between, and meet us on LinkedIn, and of course on Twitter with the national organization. Soon, I think we have major news about the European AI Forum itself. And we really wish you a very pleasant evening. Merry Christmas, everyone. Have a guten Rutsch ins neue Jahr, as the German says. And see you soon, and bye-bye.
Bye.
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 you.